something. Shh. We shouldn't be talking about this.
Welcome, our dear listeners, to episode 8 of our podcast. As the holiday approaches, that is at the end of December, for those who celebrate Christmas. What is on most people's minds? Money and how not to spend it all, or how to pay for everything that everyone wants but doesn't need. So, would someone like to kick us off?
Go ahead, Sully. You look like you're going to say something.
No, that's just like a difficult point to kick off from, but
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try better next time.
Gosh,
Start her up
better.
again. Kidding. There are no retakes. It's all candid.
I guess we could start off with just talking about the financial struggle of Christmas itself and mentally preparing to spend lots of money and have no money leading up to the new year, basically. It's a great way to start the new year.
Yeah.
Especially when those resolutions come around.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know. I saw this thing on the news because, I've been getting up early watching the news. And they just had mentioned, they're like, you should never be using, like, a credit card to purchase gifts. They're like, you should always be using your debit card. Like, if you can't pay for the gifts, you shouldn't be getting the gifts. And I'm like, is this a new concept? Like, huh? Like, excuse you? Like, do you know how much people are spending? Who has that much on their debit card in this economy?
Mm-hmm.
I
think fair point.
It is a fair point. It made sense. But it's like, excuse me, my debit card goes towards bills. My credit card goes towards purchases.
Miss Ma'am, I think we should clarify that when you use your credit card, you probably should have the funds for it or expect to be getting the funds for it in the very near future.
No, yes.
If you want to use your credit card appropriately.
Yes.
But yeah, you want to have think of it that way. That's a choice, Joshua. It's a choice. That's how you rack up credit card debt real quick.
Yeah.
That is.
I guess the people who are usually buying gifts, though, you're not usually children who are, like, just starting out and, like, trying to, like, make money and stuff like that. It's usually adults who have been making money for a while, should have enough money where they're at in life to have been paying off their mortgage and whatever and whatnot, to the point where they should feel comfortable enough spending a couple $100s on gifts if that's what people choose to do. Otherwise, it's like teenagers getting gifts for each other and they have no expenses to pay usually. And so therefore, they too also have enough money that you would have no reason to have to use a credit card for the purchases.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, or you can be like me and you're just a wee little student who doesn't actually make any money and you're living off of loans.
Right. So it's like, okay, so like for those kinds of people, right? Where like your partner might expect a gift or like whomever else you would want to get a gift to. I feel like it should be just come like a thing where for people who we know don't have the funds like to go all out, especially when they raise prices just a little bit more so they can make more over Christmas, like to shop after Christmas when everything goes on sale. Because they weren't able to sell out of everything. Like, let me get that for you after Christmas and on the cheap. You know?
Yeah. I don't think it should be expected from somebody.
No.
I mean, I personally think that if somebody doesn't have the funds and I know that they don't, I don't expect anything from them. Even if it is a partner, I don't want you to feel stressed out about trying to get me a gift because you think that's what I want, but it's like, no, I'd much rather you have money to pay for the things you need to pay for rather than just get me
Mm.
some weaselly measly gift.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
And then maybe
Yeah.
just like do something like later on, like as like a date or something.
Yeah. But then there's also, like, for example, you solely are a type of person who, when it comes to any sort of holiday, you love to just go all out and get gifts for people, not because you think those people want or are expecting gifts, but because you like to give gifts.
Yeah, I do enjoy doing that. But when I know
Yeah.
I don't have the funds to do it, I'm not gonna do it. Like, I know
Okay.
my limitations. Like, at some point,
That's
you
fair.
have to be able to recognize, like, as much as I would love to be able to do this for other people, I myself can't afford XYZ, so why should I
Mm.
try and make it so I can't afford the entire alphabet? Like, come on now. Like,
Yeah.
I need to afford some things, and if that means
Mhm.
giving up in other areas, it's like, okay. Because down the line, when you do have money, you can then spend more
It's true.
Mhm.
once you get
Yeah.
there, and it can
Yeah.
make up for the times that were lost.
Right.
Facts on facts.
So then, does it ever make you feel guilty if you feel like, oh, I can only afford like maybe a $50 gift, and then someone else gives you something like $100 gift or something?
I don't think that's ever like really happened.
Oh,
Like,
solid.
I mean, yeah,
Mm.
because we don't really do gift exchanges like that, you know?
As a family, you're talking about?
Yeah, as a family, we
Yeah.
don't
You
really.
know, but like, what about you with your partner, or like with a friend or
Yeah, like
something?
with a partner
Oh,
or something.
with my
Yeah.
partner, I'm buying the more expensive things, so
Oh,
I'm
so it's the other way for you.
I am the less broke one.
I am.
So
Fair enough.
yeah. But I mean, like, I don't know if I necessarily feel guilty because most of the time I say it beforehand, like, hey, I can't get you a gift, or
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to spend as much money as I'd like to.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Or
most
just
of the
like setting a
time,
limit between the two of you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you have a problem with that, then we have a problem. Because what do you mean you have a problem with me not being able to spend $80,000 on you for Christmas? Like, come on now, calm down.
Ma'am,
I'm
do you wanna be
joking.
my secret
I'm
Santa?
obviously joking.
Yeah. What are you buying over there?
What's $80,000?
Not me.
Not me either.
Mm,
Oh yeah.
I
No.
wish.
Yeah. So wish. But yeah, money's a struggle. And I know we talked about it last time, but like okay, getting stuff for like your family and your friends, like you kind of budget for that. Like you understand like yes, this is how much I have for everybody. Okay, hey, we're not doing each other gifts and stuff. And then work tries to come around, or I don't know, maybe for you for school, Tegan, since you don't have a job, jobless. Um, sorry, but
No,
like
it's
they try
good.
and do like what we talked about, like the potluck, go buy food for everybody else, or they try and do secret Santas, and like they set it at like $15, and then like you had said, so like why am I spending money on somebody, or why like like why would I go into this little pool like to spend $15 that I could just spend on my own like for myself, but then to have some like it just doesn't feel it doesn't feel right for work to ask people to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
like it just should just be a neutral territory. Like you came here to make money, so don't think you have to put money back at other people you work with. Like
Mm-hmm.
I understand like if you're friends and stuff like that, do something outside of work, but we don't have to make it a collective
Right.
community, everyone pitch in for this kind of thing. Like I don't choose to hang out with these people. I get paid to hang out with these people. So, so how many of you guys am I hitting up off the clock? None of you, because I'm too tired and I'm staying home on the couch.
Yeah. I agree. I think if it's like a work party that like is almost being mandated or required by like management or something, then things that are going to be there should be provided by the company and not by the employees, because
Mm-hmm.
that's not fair to like be like, oh, we're doing this but you guys have to supply everything. Like that's
Hmm.
just
Yeah, it's like this company, like, we pay you $20 an hour, so supply your own food for your like holiday party, while we sit here making millions. Like, that
Yeah.
doesn't add up. That doesn't add up.
no. But
And so
unfortunately
it's
that's how
not
it
in the
works.
budget. Expand your budget,
Yeah.
because it's not in mine either.
Because it's
Well,
like,
especially
oh, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, especially if you're in a position where you're working literally on the holiday, like I feel like that should 100% be like,
Yeah.
thank you for being able to come in. This
Mm-hmm.
is how we are gonna give a little more to you on
On
top
top
of
of
getting
holiday pay.
paid. Of yeah,
Yeah,
Which
because
is
that's just
ironic
a basic.
because
yeah,
I think that should be a more like flat thing. Like companies either have to pay time and a half or overtime or like double time
Yeah.
something because it's not controlled at all. And now companies are like, we'll pay you $1 extra an hour.
Yeah, or
And it's
like they
like,
don't apply it to every holiday. Like, not even like every
Mhm.
government like regulated holiday. They'll just like with my company, it's like they don't do Thanksgiving, they don't do Christmas Eve, they do Christmas Day. They don't do New Year's Eve, but they'll do New Year's Day. Like, it just doesn't make sense for certain things. And then like um the 4th of July, okay, I think they do it, but then like no other holiday they do it for. Memorial Day, Labor Day, like Veterans Day, anything like no, they won't do it for that. And it's like
Yo,
President's
Labor Day
Day,
is
they
wild.
they won't do it for that. Like, it's like 3 holidays you can get like extra pay for. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, we
that's
consider how
weird.
many
Yeah.
other days holidays, and you just make us all work like normal.
Yeah, that's true. I think Labor Day is wild though, because if you think about it, it's literally a holiday.
Celebrating your
Yeah.
workers.
Yeah, and then they're not gonna do
It's
anything
like,
for you.
you
That's
get to
crazy,
work.
right?
You know what you're celebrating? You get to do that thing today.
Hmm.
Yep.
It's like, no, it's supposed to be the celebration of me not
I'm
doing that
not doing
thing today.
Yeah, exactly.
this. But then again, if everybody didn't do their thing, then no one would be able to do anything. Which I would be okay with. I'm fine staying
I
home.
think if people stayed
Yeah.
home for one day,
Right,
I
When
think
one
we'd be
day.
okay.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
the
it
country would
might.
be okay.
Well, I mean, you gotta think about like hospitals and stuff like that.
But everybody's, I guess,
Yes. See?
Okay, other than okay, I
See?
guess like
Now you just
healthcare
go back into
worker.
COVID, essential workers and stuff, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah, I guess first responders would technically still have to
Have
work.
to work. Yeah. That's a lot of people.
That's complicated, I guess. Yeah.
They could just do like 2 Labor Days, so like half of the
yeah.
people get it off on one day, and half
True.
get it off the next day, and
But
everything can still work.
you're laughing, but I think that actually could be a very valid like solution.
Perfect. To the misfortune of the country, for the future president, take note.
2 Labor
Yeah.
Days.
Two
2 Labor
Labor
Days.
Days.
Make one of them required for everybody.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Not that that's gonna ever happen, but
No.
Yeah. And not to like totally get sidetracked, but like I was like looking at little fun facts because like I put them up around the lab, like for patients to read. And I saw this one that it's like, because of the electoral college, a president only like can win with like 28% of the popular vote, which is beyond wild to me.
um, Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you think about that and think like I don't even need a third of America to like me to
I
win
don't think
the
it's happened
presidency.
yet, though.
No, I don't think it's happened yet. But like
So,
I'm just saying, like, because of the electoral college, like that's how much it doesn't make sense. But that's on a whole nother topic. That isn't Christmas. Back to happy sunshine, rainbows,
Where
sleds,
it's not sunshines
reindeer,
and rainbows.
fairy dust, all that fun stuff.
But no, because like I was gonna say like about the whole holiday party things and like how the bosses should be paying for that. It's like, and you just see like especially with like the healthcare work CEO that was killed,
Mm-hmm.
like how
yeah.
much money influences what people do, and it's
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
you have driven people to the point of killing you
Mm-hmm.
because of your decisions.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like not
Mhm.
even that, but okay. So mom was telling me a bit about it and like how like this guy had like been like more or less of a like an advocator for like reform in healthcare and like just like how atrocious it pretty much is and like how much insurance just kind of like leeches off of you and stuff like that. It's like this huge like money factory. And I guess like on all the bullets that were like in his gun, they like all had like carved in words from like this one book and stuff like that. Like pretty much just like almost bringing light to the atrocity that is the healthcare system. And it almost seemed like a political stand. I mean, don't get me wrong, murder is murder. It is not good. No one should do it. Everyone should be punished for it. Don't go out and don't kill anybody. But I get his point. It didn't have to
Yeah.
lead to murder. We could have grazed
Right.
his ear.
Yeah.
But
You guys know have you heard who it is though? So they figured out
Uh,
they caught the guy and
Luigi,
yeah,
yeah,
he was an Ivy League graduate. Have you seen a picture of him?
I
I
have,
have.
and a whole ton of people are like, he's so hot. Don't even let
Yes,
him go to
I
jail.
had an employee send me a topless picture of him, and
That's
I
the
didn't
picture
know.
that's going around. Yeah.
Yes, I didn't know that was him at first, and I'm like, oh, who is this cutie? And they're like, oh, this is the guy who shot that CEO, and I'm like, huh? I'm like, can I? I mean, I'm not gonna take it back, but like, oh, we should what? I was so
This
conflicted.
Yeah, I saw this Instagram video of this doctor who was talking about it and then showed a picture of him and she's like, and his name is Luigi, so like just call me Princess Peach for the day.
Perfect.
Yeah. I died.
That's insane.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. You know he's about to get so much fan mail in jail. It's gonna be
Oh,
crazy.
absolutely, yeah.
Sheesh. If I could figure out the postal service system. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, wait, what?
I'm not about buying stamps, guys. I'm not about buying stamps. Don't
Okay.
email.
But yeah, so I guess it all kind of ties back into the when CEOs get that power, they just strive for more and more and more. And when they
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
have a ton of money that they're sitting on, they just still want more and more and more. And it
Mhm.
all like ties back into the fact that that's why higher ups never do anything for their employees, which is just insane to me because it's like you could probably give up roughly 10%, no, 20% of what you make and be making more than me still. Way
Mhm.
more.
Way
And
more.
yet you sit here and complain or don't do anything for your employees.
Mhm.
Make that make
No.
sense? Make that
I
make
know.
sense? It doesn't.
It
Like,
doesn't.
what's wrong with you?
And it's honestly
Literally, what's wrong with
infuriating.
you?
I know. And like, okay, don't get me wrong, not to be like the picking like the dark side kind of thing. But like they have like a whole board on most companies like this. They have a board where it's like the pressure to like keep everything in the black, keep like profiting and profiting and profiting and profiting. And so obviously if you keep cutting wages or you're not increasing wages, that's one way to make more money. And so obviously they have more pressure with that. But any CEO can go around and be like garnish my wages to increase my employees' wages. Like that
Mhm.
doesn't have to be like a board decision, you
Mhm.
know? And like okay, it pisses me off a little more. So like the company I work for, like they have like this homepage like that's on all their like work computers and like every week there's like this new little article with the CEO, and like she poses for pictures with employees and is like wearing a hard hat like with all these other employees and stuff. And I'm like looking, I'm like, you are so like you just don't fit into the picture. I'm like, I bet you showed up one day, they snapped a few pictures of you, and then you left. Like, there is no way you got your hands dirty like they got their hands dirty. You stuck around to actually see what they actually go through. And, like, not only that, but just went beyond and asked them about their life and their
Mhm.
mental health and, like, got to know these people who work for you to understand the life you say you can provide them through their health insurance and their dental insurance and like just their wages and stuff like that. Like it's like it's just beyond me.
Yeah, and I think I know we've talked about this before, but like the show Undercover Boss, and like
Mhm.
how that show is so enlightening into a CEO's life, and how they just genuinely don't know what their
Mhm.
employees are going through and what their day-to-day lives are and their task and how like hard it can be, and then also how little they get paid for doing those things.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the CEOs don't know that is probably a very big reason they don't consider increasing wages, because they're like, they're doing grunt work. They should get paid like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
But it's even
And
like
oh, go ahead.
less than CEOs, like store like managers and stuff like that, like general managers have no clue what people do. Like
Hmm.
Mm,
quite literally, our manager was literally like, "Yeah, I have no clue what you guys do over there. But good work. I got a promotion," and they're like, "I have no clue what that means, but we're also not going to pay you for the time you've been doing it since you asked to get paid for it." Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense because you sit here up on your high horse and you're like, mm, we have policies that go against that. Okay, but then here's situation A, B, and C in which you didn't apply those policies. Yeah, but like we gotta draw the line somewhere. And I'm like, yeah, but like you didn't before. So make it
right.
make sense.
Right.
Mhm.
And then they can't make it make sense.
Right.
Mhm.
But because they're above you, you can't do anything about it. And it's like, bruh.
Mhm. Yeah. Or like what really gets me is like you get like, annual reviews, which should usually come with an annual raise, and it's usually just like 3%. So it's like what, a quarter or something like that. And I legit sat down last time and I asked for more. I'm like, can we not like round this up to like an even number? Like, let's just do like a dollar raise or whatever. And he's like, I would get in so much trouble if I did that. And I'm like, doesn't sound like a me problem. Like, it's not your money. I'm like, they're not gonna fire you because you gave someone like a 4% raise. Like, that sounds ridiculous. Like, and it's not like they can't afford it either.
Yeah.
But it's just like beyond
Mhm.
me. Like, it's also like, okay, if I was in that position, I'd be like, I would fight for you for this because like I know you deserve it. I'm not saying I deserved it or anything. I mean, probably did, but whatever. but like I'd fight for my employees because like you know what it's like. Like more than likely you got to that position because you were them before. Like, why wouldn't you want to be treating these people the way you wish you had been treated?
Mhm.
And like I
Mm-hmm.
feel like so many people forget that. Like as they like move up and up and up, it's like, oh, I'm here now, so now I can like relax or whatever. And like, yeah, I remember doing grunt work, but I don't have to do it anymore. And they have to like initiate into it. Like this is how they're supposed. Like that's not how it should be.
Mhm.
Like you did that to remember as you go up to make it better for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
people forget that.
Oh, they sure do. I realize it so much, like as a medical student, and like I sit there and I work with like residents who were in my position less than 4 years ago, and somehow they've forgotten how hard it is or what the struggle is, or attendings who just graduated residency and they've forgotten, and it's like, how, you were literally just in this position, and yet you're going to continue to perpetuate the issues with attending. Like, no, I don't
Yeah.
get it. I don't understand it.
It doesn't make sense, but it's that whole mentality like, oh, I went through this, so you have to too.
Mhm.
You know? Like, oh, I was treated unfairly, so you should get treated. Like, no. Like, I got treated
Yeah.
unfairly, so I want to make sure you don't get treated unfairly. Like,
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
but yeah. But moving back
To
Christmas.
gift giving and all
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Gift giving and all.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Christmas.
Mhm.
Christmas.
Now that we went on our little tangent of the app, you're welcome to everybody because I know you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Okay,
and the
switching
lesson of
from
that is go fight for your raise. Go fight for
yes,
it.
Yes.
push, and then
Yes.
just tell them you got another job lined up.
Yeah. You deserve
Maybe
it,
have
so you
another
should fight
job
for
lined
it.
up. So but yeah, I'm about to get sidetracked again.
Gift giving.
Gift giving.
Focus.
So okay, so moving off of like not being able to afford everything, to people who wrap them as soon as they buy the gift, or wrapping it like and putting it all under the tree like on one day.
Mhm.
See, I prefer because just for the listeners, I used to have like a full onesie that literally said no peeking on it because I would always want to go and try and figure out what my presents are before we were opening our presents. So I am one of those people who cannot stand it when there are presents sitting there that I cannot touch or that I'm not supposed to touch.
Yes.
All I want to do is go and figure out what I got and then what everybody else got. And then when I'm sitting there and everybody's opening them, I get to figure out if I was right or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I personally prefer it when they all get put out on Christmas Eve because then we're all cooking, baking, eating, and then by the
Distracted.
time that I even think
Yeah.
about it, I'm too tired. I want to go
Yeah.
to bed. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want them out there Christmas Eve, and that is it. No before that because I just want to know.
Yes.
Yeah. I think me and Jasmine are probably the same way because back when you and Rosarian didn't exist, me and Jasmine, we would go shopping with either mom or dad for each other. And then we would come back
Each other.
and we would show each other what we got them and put it back in the hiding place before Christmas.
Yeah, because
So we knew exactly
we
what
had
we were
separate
getting.
rooms, so they'd hide
Yeah.
like I would hide Tegan's present in my closet, and she would hide my present in her closet, and we'd be like,
Yeah.
"Do you want to know what we got you?" And it's like, "Yeah, but," and then later, years later, to find out that mom and dad knew we did
Yep.
that because they're like, "You guys could not act to save your lives." I thought we were like supreme. I remember like watching you like, oh my god, yeah, she totally looks like she doesn't know.
Right.
He's like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Maybe we just oversold it.
Maybe. But yeah. So like definitely I don't care when you bought the gifts, but don't go putting them out the day before Christmas Eve, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
For the sake of my mental health, you know.
That's fair. I'm also okay. So like obviously that was like a clue on like how I am like as a kid. Like I couldn't keep the secret, and I feel like I'm still that same way. Like I can't go buy someone a present and then like wait a week to like see them open it. I'd like here open like here you go.
Literally.
Let me see it. Look.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. Maybe that's good that like we go shopping like the week of Christmas, but
It is.
Yeah.
it's just like
Because I can't
shorter
handle
time I have
it.
to keep a secret.
I can't
Yeah.
either, yeah.
It's so hard.
It is
Maybe that's
hard.
why you get like those families that like open them like the week before Christmas, or like they get one present Christmas Eve that they get to
Yeah,
open,
maybe.
which I guess
See,
makes
but
sense.
for
But I don't
me-
like that.
Exactly. I'd rather just
No, I don't
wait.
either.
Like, what do
Yeah.
you mean I have to open one now
One,
and then do all the rest later?
yes,
Right.
and
Are
then
you
and then
trying
like if,
yeah.
to hurt me?
yes, and then like if it was me, I'd like be going back and forth between like two gifts, and I'm like, okay, let me pick this one, and then open it and be like, oh, this is really cool. I'm like, but I should have picked the other one, you know. And I feel like that's just what would be going through my head that night, and then I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw this like I don't know if it's a trend or just like this one family did it, but like they would get I guess in this case the family liked books, but everyone would get a book Christmas Eve. And so you get to open one present and you knew it was a book, and then you had something to read that evening if you wanted to.
That's actually
And
cute.
then you open the rest of your presents on Christmas. And I was like, that's not a bad idea. I guess like you can like satisfy, and it doesn't have to be a book. Like maybe you do like pajamas or something
Yeah.
like that. Like where like you know you're gonna get something specific, but you don't know what exactly it. And
But
then
it's
like
something you can more interact with.
yeah, and it can
Yeah.
kind of like
Okay.
satisfy that little
Yeah. That little
itch for
thing.
a
Yeah.
little long. Like I don't know.
Which is why I love advent calendars.
Oh, those are
Yes,
the
you do.
best. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
They're
like,
not cheap.
no, they're not. Even the chocolate ones. Like, what do you mean? It's just chocolate.
Let's go to the
Yeah.
Dollar Tree.
Why are you so expensive? But then they
Yeah.
taste like
That
crap.
chalky
Yeah.
chocolate.
They're
They do.
disgusting. It's
They're
like,
not
what
good
is
chocolates.
this? Who
Yeah.
no.
It's not
I
worth
know.
it at that point. Yeah. I every year I've been sending Noah like the you know how some people do like the book advent calendars, they'll wrap a book for each day and I'm like, you
Yes.
should do this, but I also know it's gonna be
It's
way
expensive.
expensive.
Yes.
But that's the other thing, though, is that I think if you are aware that your partner wants that, you can be searching for the deals throughout the year, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And in that
That's true. A
case, then it's better.
stockpile.
Exactly. And it's like, there's
Yeah.
also places like half price books and like there's discount stores that do
Yeah.
have books. And it's like,
That's
at
true.
least that way
True.
you could be checking out those places more frequently rather
Mhm.
than just like the month before,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. I
That's
know,
so
and I
true.
saw this one though that was like it was like advent calendar, but like they were like boxes. So each of them had like a little theme of the day. So it was like a spa day box, and then like a little like no reading box or whatever. And it was just kind of like that theme. Like each day had like like a few things in it, and I'm like, dang, someone's got
It's
money.
expensive.
But
Yeah, that sounds expensive.
I know, but I'm also like, wow, I would love that. That's like a present every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. Oh my gosh. Or like you know how people do like presents every day leading up to someone's birthday that month or something? I'm like, how
No,
much money
why
do
didn't
you
we
oh
do that?
you it's like
Man,
on
I'm on
social
the 8th.
media.
You're on the 24th, bro.
Yeah, I
Let's get my
know.
presents. And then you're over here on the 7th.
Rachel
I'm like,
is
I
like
won't be getting them much,
She's
but
like,
yeah,
can we do that for every day after the
it'd
birthday?
still be worth it. It'd still be worth it.
but I've seen it on like social media where they'll do like I think this one parent did it for their kid or something. And I was just like, dang, some people got money. Like
Jeez.
But with all that, I think also comes like keeping in mind like how much of that is gonna go to waste,
yeah.
and also like for following years, like I think it's a big thing to try and figure out what you can do with products you don't use anymore.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, like with like some parents where they're like, okay, every new toy you get this year, you have to like
Give one away.
choose one to donate or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
I completely
Like
agree with
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the family I nanny for. They do that, but they do it like 2 weeks before Christmas, and so like because like she's a good shopper, and so like she'll shop ahead of time, and she's like, okay, you guys are like. We gotta take this many, and like they'll just do like a set number. They'll do like 15 or 20, depending on how many toys they already have. And it's like, because like, well, like one of them just collects like a whole bunch of little stuffed animals, you know. And so she's
Oh,
like, so we have to get rid of some of these to make room for more, and then that way like she can get to them to like Goodwill and stuff like that in time for other people who would be shopping.
oh, that's
And
cute.
yeah, isn't that so
Yeah,
cute and so thoughtful? I
yeah, that's
know.
very thoughtful.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
makes sense.
it does make
yeah,
sense.
that makes a lot of sense actually.
Yeah, and so everyone, you still have time. We're still like 15 days
True.
out. That's 2 weeks. So, well, not when you listen to this, but
But
I mean,
you'll
it'll
still
still
have
be
10,
yeah, it'd be like
11
10
you'll
days.
still
days.
have a good amount of time. Start
Yeah,
decluttering.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
do it.
do it.
I might
Hit
do
that
that.
Goodwill.
Not that I had that
But
much
then also
clutter.
not to ruin the whole like, oh that's so sweet thing. But there is a documentary out on Netflix that's like about what actually happens to product waste. I don't exactly remember what it's called.
Like
Something
stuff
like
people throw away, or like they donate.
no, like recycled, donated things. I think it's called like Don't Buy or something like that.
Hmm,
I think. Let me see.
interesting.
Oh.
Going off on that, I'm just going to do a little PSA for all those people who have older animals out there. Don't you dare return them to a pound or anything and try and buy a new shiny little puppy or kitten. You stick out. You bought that animal, you stick it out for their life, because you know what? They loved you. They came in thinking they were your family for life. And they darn well better be.
That's wild.
So,
I mean, you should
Yeah.
probably just not get animals as presents in
adopt, don't
general.
No.
shop.
Well,
That's
even then, presents. It's just
I agree.
it's not
I agree.
it's called Buy Now, The Shopping
by now.
Conspiracy on
Mm,
Netflix.
On Netflix.
Yeah, so it
Interesting.
was like mom put it on the other day and I'd like seen like probably halfway through to the end or something like that. And like it's all valid points and it's all points that I've like even thought of sometimes, except for the one that came up about recycling and how when the recycling label is on things, that doesn't actually always mean that it's recyclable.
yeah.
And I was like, Miss Ma'am, but why do you do this to me? And they're like, it just makes consumers feel better to buy plastic products because companies can be like, oh yeah, recycle it, whatever and whatnot. But you can't actually recycle it, and then people recycle it feeling better about themselves,
Themselves.
and then it
Mm,
and like they kept going like, and then it just either gets thrown into the ground and covered up, or burned. And it's
dang.
like it sucks because there's like
Yeah.
if that's the truth, like then that's like an
Yeah.
issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it
And
is. And they like don't obviously don't advertise that because they want their
no,
product sold. But like I knew there was like a cap on how many times like something could get recycled. That's why there's like the numbers in them. And then like once they get to the higher numbers, that's kind of like the end of the life kind of thing. But darn. You know what? They really need to start like taking those and rather than burying them and stuff. I've seen like the people who have like the 3D printers and like they take it and they turn it into like the like
so
thread
yeah,
or whatever. They should just start doing that and selling it to those people.
yeah, but then that costs them more money, and then the CEOs and their because they don't make enough money already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a whole nother
it
thing.
goes back
Scrap
to that
that.
whole
Forget I
thing.
said that.
Yeah, but it was like even including like electronics, which is a big buy around this time of year.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when
Huh.
stores say, "Oh yeah, turn it in," and like you
Mm-hmm.
get a free
Mm.
Yeah.
exchange or this and that. And it's like if they can't actually use the product, it just gets shipped off to a third world country that has to then break it down, and it has a bunch of like poison, like hard
Yeah.
metals, which are then
Yeah.
poisonous to the human body. And it's like, and
Interesting.
these people are doing it for probably $1 a day.
Dang.
That's so sad.
So not to
Guys,
make everybody
okay.
feel like garbage, but like just like keep it in mind. Think
Yeah.
about
Don't buy plastic.
what you're doing.
That's like
It's
the
really hard to stay
brushstroke.
away from that though.
It is hard. It is. Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
know. Speaking of plastic, you know how everyone says that buying like a fake tree, like an artificial tree, is like worse than buying like an actual tree. And
Mm-hmm.
like, don't get me wrong, obviously, like, yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, your artificial tree is gonna last you years and years and years. But I saw someone who said that if you buy a real tree, it could still last you. And I don't know if this is true. I feel like I'd have to fact check them because they're like, if you take care of it well, and then you can like replant it. I didn't think you could replant trees, but
They
I've
have
never
roots.
I
tried.
mean, you
But okay, think
definitely
about a
can.
plant. Like if you cut off the roots, like it can just grow roots back. Can trees do that? I don't know. I would have to look. But yeah, but like she's like, you can just replant it and then just use it year after year after year. And then I'm like, okay, maybe she's not buying a tree that's cut down. Maybe she's like digging up a tree and like putting it in a larger plant or pot, like when she comes inside, and then when she takes it outside, she like puts it back in the ground and then just rinse, repeat. But it also would just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you'd also have to factor that in.
So I don't know. I don't know how long she's been doing this. Maybe it's been just like a year. She's like,
Has she
hold
been
on to
doing
it.
it, or is she just
That's
making you
true.
think she's
Or
done
she's just making me think, yeah, I don't know.
it?
Making
There's
me
no
feel
proof.
bad for my artificial tree that,
I
yes,
feel
it's
like
made out of plastic.
I
But,
feel like we need to fact check this, research it.
okay. I'll
Yeah.
get back to
Yeah.
y'all next time.
Okay. Speaking of which, you guys, totally off topic, sort of. We never wrote the song, the
What
Christmas
song?
song, the Christmas.
Oh, we were being serious about that?
We still have another episode before
We
Christmas.
do.
So,
We do.
also, did we get any comments on anyone who doesn't have the voice in their head? I'm still waiting on that.
You wait for that,
The
judgment.
voice in my head reminded me,
Maybe they're trying to do it telepathically.
but they don't have a voice in their head, so there's no telepathy there.
Oh.
There's no inside voice to
That's an
communicate
interesting thought
to the other
process.
But
voice.
this is an interesting
So if
thought
telepathy was a
process.
thing, would the people who don't have the voice in their head be able to access telepathy? I say niet. That's no.
In what language?
Russian? German? Russian?
Russian.
Russian. Soy looks confused too.
You
Tegan,
used the word.
what's the verdict?
Because you said Russian, and I was like, yeah, sounds right. Then you said
Sounds right.
German, and I was like,
I think it's
I don't
German.
think so.
I
No,
think I
it's
want
Russian.
to. I
Oh wow! Look who's laughing! Look who's laughing, Tegan! Interesting! Interesting! You asked. I didn't
Correct.
assume I knew. I just knew the word was no niet. And then you're all like, what language is that?
Yeah, I was curious
Okay, fine.
if you knew the
Put this to
answer.
bed. Niet. Real question is, do I know how to spell it?
I know. I'm like, is this even how you spell it?
German.
It means
Nope.
not. It's German, I think. It's
Mm.
Dutch.
Oh.
German.
No, okay.
What? Mine says Dutch.
German.
Oh, it also means no in Russian.
Backwards.
So maybe it's both.
There you go.
Niet is N-Y-E-T in Russian, though.
Oh,
Nine
okay, so we're both
is
right.
no in German.
Nine. That's what it is.
Nine.
And Dutch. Niet is also Dutch for not.
Oh.
Learn
So,
something new every day.
look at that.
So, there you go.
Mhm.
Fancy.
No wonder we were so confused. It's because both were the right options.
Yes.
Exactly.
You're
They're all
asking,
smart.
you're saying is it A or B? It's both.
It's C, all the above.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's a trick question.
That was a trick question.
Yes. Now, if we're going to assume there's so many listeners out there listening to this episode, at this point, we might want to turn it off for all the little ears around, who know the big red man is coming to their door down
The
their
Halloween
chimney,
Oh,
leaving
okay.
presents.
Gotcha.
And that's enough time to click pause, click off, what have you. But for all those who are more or less well informed, sorry to spoil this if you aren't a little person and you don't know, but our stories of when we found out the mystery man was not a man, but perhaps a man and a woman, one man, or two women. Your parents or your guardians, or
Oh, you have me so confused for a second. I was like, what is happening?
When the mystery man no longer became a mystery, okay? How about
yes, when the
Yeah.
mystery man no longer became a mystery.
Yeah.
And if you were still
Factitious.
confused from that, we are basically going to talk about when we found out Santa Claus himself was not real.
What? That's what we're talking about?
Oh,
And
yeah.
For our
Dang it.
parents, if you are listening,
You didn't hear this.
this
You should have
didn't
turned it
happen.
off earlier. We still believe.
We do believe. Because, well, let's
I
get this
expect my
straight.
Santa card.
Santa Claus was a real person.
Yes.
Jolly old Saint Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, real person.
Yes.
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 the
This is true.
whole Santa Claus as slave reindeers going
Delivering
to
to every
each
child in one
house,
night.
and yeah, not so real. Yeah.
Yeah. I really was getting fact checked on that the other day when I was babysitting. They kept asking questions, and I'm like, "Magic! It's magic! What do you think? Magic! Like it's magic!" And they're just looking at me like, "Can you pull up a picture of an elf?" And I'm like, Googled elf, and it's like all these like caricature pictures, and they're like, "But a real picture." And I'm like, you know what?
It's a part of the
I
magic.
don't think we've ever been able to take a picture of an elf. They're so hidden away. And
You can't
they're
travel
like,
to the North Pole like that.
okay, I know. And then they went and pulled out and what about the one at the mall, the Santa at the mall? And I'm like, what about the Santa at the mall? And they're like, well, there's so many at all the malls. And I'm like, I think those are just Santa's helpers getting all of the lists from all the kids. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, crap, I can't do this for them. They're so young. Like, this is not what I
Are you
came
talking
here
about
to
the
get paid
kids you
for.
babysit?
This is the new family.
Oh, I was
Mhm.
gonna say the
They're old
other
enough.
family is old.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No, these kids are like
Well.
2 and 7 or 6. 2 and 6, I think.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty young.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyhow, as the oldest, do you want to start us off, Tegan?
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I think for me it was when we went to Arizona, Judgerin, for that one Christmas. So you weren't alive yet. You didn't exist. I apologize. Was she alive? I don't think she was alive.
Yes.
I think Rosarin was a baby. Sully was alive.
Sully, when were you born?
2006.
Yeah, I thought we went around that time. Like,
I don't
I
remember.
could have sworn I was like 7 or 8. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure she was alive.
I thought I was 8.
Sully, do you remember? Do you
If
remember
you
this?
were 8, I would have been alive.
I know. Yeah, Tegan.
You're right.
Sully was alive. She was
Okay.
a human being.
Well, you were just so like
Little.
jelly bean size. Like I forgot you were there. So
She's like, you didn't get any gifts. Those weren't under the tree. I didn't have to hand you anything.
Anyways, we went to Arizona for Christmas that one year,
Mhm.
and we were opening. I think we opened Santa gifts first, and then we were opening our presents. And Mom opened one of her presents, and the wrapping paper had just been flipped from the Santa presents, and she tried to hide it. So I do give her credit for that. But my eyes saw it, and I was like,
Didn't see it.
hmm.
If anything, that trip like
How does Santa have the
reaffirmed
same wrapping paper?
my belief in him, because there was like the whole like Santa tracker on the news of like where he was in the world.
There
I'm like,
was.
Santa's almost here. Santa's almost here. I'm like, wait, but how does he know? Because like we're not at home.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
forgot. Mom and Dad came up with something. They were like, "Oh, he knows.
yeah.
He keeps track of where everyone is, or something."
Like we left him
But-
or something.
But yeah, that's how
Mm-hmm.
it was. The wrapping paper.
So wrapping paper that gave it
And-
away.
My curse of being too observant sometimes.
Yeah, clearly.
It's okay.
My goodness. No,
I was at an age where I heard kids talking about it already, and there was already the suspicion. So it was just confirmation, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say that. It was kind of that for me, like just in a grouping of it. So it was like one, kids were talking about it, like at the playground. I remember the specific like interaction with two of my friends, and one of them was like, well, my mom told me like Santa's not real. And I'm like sitting there and like I'm like, part of me in the back of my mind was like, yeah, okay, that's true. But then the other part of me was like, if I admit this, I won't get any more Santa presents. I'm like, I have to believe. It's all about believing. It, like the Polar Express. shake that Carmel. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what? No, that's so not true. I'm like, why would you say these things? I'm like, that's crazy. Like, don't you want Santa gifts? Like, you can't say that. And then it was at Christmas, and the wrapping paper was the same again. But then they came up with because then that time they wrote a note on the wrapping paper, and it's like, sorry, I ran out of paper, had
Yeah,
to
I remember
borrow
that.
some or something like
Yeah.
that. And I'm like, interesting. And then I
Wait,
noticed, I'm like,
whoa.
Sultan remembers this. She's like, wait, how old were you?
no. To be clear, it was the playground thing. I'm like, I already had a suspicion. This was like, yeah, definitely. Like, this is something like I definitely remember. I'm like, yeah, this does not add up. I'm like, how are you hiding this? And then it was also just the fact that like Santa always like left us little notes, and I'm always like, this looks a crazy ton like Mom's handwriting. I'm like, this is
Nice
interesting.
and big. And,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. And then there was just that one year, it was like a year or two ago, where we're like, oh, we gotta put out cookies for Santa. And who was it? Dad was just
Dad.
like, I can't eat anymore.
Or because we used to also do like carrots for each of the reindeer.
Yeah.
And then at some point they're like, we don't need to do that. Or,
I'm pretty sure they just like took them back and put them in the bag.
I think mom was like, how about just one this year?
Yes. Yeah. And I'm sitting there and I'm like flabbergasted. I'm like, how dare you say this?
I also think that there was the one year that when we were starting to switch over to like non-dairy milk, and I think they were like, "Oh, do you think Santa would rather have like whatever we were almond milk
Like almond
probably
milk.
at the time?" We were like,
No.
"Yeah."
But it was also at least for me, also the fact that our chimney had the gate kind of thing,
Yeah.
and that was never moved,
that.
never touched, never.
That's true. Never bumped. Never, jostled. Dang. Okay, Soli.
Yeah.
I just attributed that to Santa's magic. I still attribute it to Santa's magic. He's sly. He's like a ninja.
But like it was, at least for me, like the first sure point was, I don't remember if it was when we were just starting out at MCA, but we all got the spirit wear for it,
Mm-hmm.
the sweatshirts, and mine had a hole in like the arm area.
Okay.
And I was sitting next to Mom, and she said, "We're gonna have to return it." She was like, "That's no good. We're gonna have to return that." And I was like, "Return it?" She was like, "Oh,
How do you return it to Santa? Maybe that's why they've stuck to like the blankets and socks and candy.
Yeah. Well, it's also that it's always our gifts and Dad's gifts are very similar themes. And then the moment you get to Mom's stuff, it's like we always are getting chocolate and socks and stuff like that. Mom's getting other stuff, and
yes, and then you're always like, someone shop for everyone, and then someone shop for Mom.
Yeah, but it was like, that's the one thing that I remember. At least it might have been even before that, because I'm sure Rosarian probably had said to me multiple times, "No, Santa's not real."
Seriously?
Because you mentioned the Polar Express.
Yeah.
And that one year they got us all bells, remember?
Oh, yes! Yes, I do remember that.
Yeah, and Rosarian's like, "What is this for?" And I was like, "It's to test to see if Santa's real, like if you still believe in Santa." And she's like, "Obviously." And I'm like, "Ding, ding, 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 ding."
Like, shut up!
Can you hear it?
Like,
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
I like that.
That's a good one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's funny.
Gosh. But yeah.
Yeah, that would be like Rosarian. That would be like Rosarian.
It does sound like her.
Yeah.
But for sure, the time when the sweatshirt happened, and they're like, yeah, we need to return that, and I'm like, okay, yeah, we do.
Like, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
That's just
I'll let
natural.
you figure out how to return it to the North Pole.
Yeah.
What do we think the return, like the
Address.
shipping
What's
back
the
date
address
is?
on that? Like,
Santa
Santa's
Claus,
workshop.
North Pole.
They know where it goes. Well, isn't there like a spot in like every post office or whatever? Like that's all you have to do is just like say like Santa on it or something. And then like they like they'll still take it. I don't think they.
I'm sure they'll take it, and then
Yeah.
they'll
Like,
throw it in the garbage or something. No.
or, yeah, I don't know.
Where are they
or
gonna send it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Unless if they give it back to the person
I
who
was gonna
mailed it,
say it like
because you'd
shipped
have a
back
return
so that
address
like
on it, I'm sure.
yeah, and then like that way like
And the kids
parents
aren't
check the
grabbing the
mail
mail,
and yeah.
or at
Well, unless you're
least
like our
most
family,
kids, yeah. Because I always wanted to
where it
grab
was
the
like
mail.
exciting to grab the mail back when there weren't screens.
Back when there were, dude, you were alive when there've always been screens.
Like,
You knew what a TV and a computer and a phone was like your
it's
whole
just
life.
that like okay, at least our internet was just so slow. It was like we're outside
No,
doing
but it's
anything,
honestly
and there
so
was like the mail's
concerning.
here. It's my turn to go get the mail.
Oh
True.
yeah,
I do remember doing that.
Or like back when Netflix would like ship out the DVDs. And we'd get
Yes.
excited when like a
Oh
DVD
my
would come in the
gosh,
mail, and it's like, which movie
yeah.
is it? Which movie is it?
Wait, but do people actually remember this? Because I was talking to Noah about it, and he's like, "Huh?" And I'm like, "Do people
okay,
not
but
remember
even I
Netflix being like
vaguely
this?"
remember that.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, like I remember like getting the mail. I don't actually remember the entire whole thing, but like I do like remember that part of it. And then I do remember hiding it from mom and dad that we knew the password to
Oh
Netflix
yeah,
everything.
Oh,
yeah. Over summer
real.
when they would lock the TV or hide the remotes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yup. We knew the password.
Little
We most
stealth
definitely
people.
watched TV during the
Yeah.
day. You know, we were so good about it too because we would always make sure we had it go back to the channel it was on when we first turned the
Yes,
TV
and the
on.
volume. Someone would have to keep track
Yes.
of the volume and the
Yes.
channel it was on.
Okay, but did
Yeah.
you guys also eat ice cream when they were out of the house? I think
No.
that's the most real
I don't
question.
think we did that.
Because me and Razarin did that all the time.
I don't
It'd be
think we
like,
did that.
okay, they
Oh
left. And
my
we'd go
god.
to the freezer,
I
we'd
know
grab
you're
the ice
adults
cream
now,
and a
but like
spoon.
you're grounded. You both are grounded. How Deacon, why didn't we do that? Why
Yeah.
were we too
Where was
big?
our big
Where,
brain? I
where
don't
was our
know.
head? I don't even think we ever
Wow.
had candy without them around.
And
Okay,
then,
but to be fair, when we were like that age, I don't think we had ice cream like we did when they started coming around.
I guess.
I don't remember having ice cream like because like
That's true.
I remember when they were younger, that's when I remember we always had ice cream. But before that I don't remember always having ice cream.
You know why we never had it, Tegan? Because you were such the goody two shoes, and you were the one who was babysitting us, and always be like, "Tegan, let's just do this." Like they won't know. Yes, they will. We can't do it.
Okay,
You
I
don't
bet
no.
you
Don't touch it. Don't
I
touch it.
bet you they knew they were eating ice cream. I bet you they knew
We'll have to
that.
ask.
I don't
It's
know.
kind of how would it be? All they gotta do is open the container and be like, "Oh, this much
Like,
wasn't
this
missing
was
yesterday."
North Pole.
Because I bet you they also have ice cream every night back when we had ice cream all the time.
Oh yes, no doubt. And then who
I'm
was it
sure
who
they know
used to like
this.
sneak out of their room in the middle of the night and eat ice cream? Was that Riz? Yeah,
Oh, was
I
that
think
Riz? I
so.
thought that
used
was
to
you,
eat
Jazzer, and I'm
ice
not
cream
gonna
in the middle of the night. No, I was never that smart.
lie. No, wait, that's so true because when I moved to that room downstairs, I remember I would wake up
Hearing
and
it,
hear someone in the fridge, and I always just assumed it was dad or
Dad.
something.
Yeah, no, I was always too scared. I'm like, I'm gonna get caught. Like, I'm not that stealthy. Like, they're gonna notice something. I'm gonna be sitting there with the ice cream, like, uh, like, do you want to turn back around and go back upstairs? We just finish the pipe, pretend like I could put it back in time. Like,
That's
no,
crazy.
no, like, yeah. Like, I'd go to bed and I'd go to bed.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't
Yeah.
like go on my phone. Like, I'd stare at the ceiling if I couldn't fall asleep. That was so boring.
Well, that's not true because when we were younger and we shared a room, Judging, there were
We
times
talk.
we were told go to bed and we'd sit there and we'd just talk in the room.
Yes. Well,
a
yeah,
long
I
time.
know. But that's the thing. Like, we wouldn't do anything else. Like, we would still have like the lights off, and we would just
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And then anytime we heard someone walking by, we'd go quiet.
Super quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Somehow
that's
they
what
still
I
knew.
would do too, but Rosarin couldn't keep her mouth shut.
No.
So Rosarin would always be
anyway.
the reason we get in trouble.
It didn't help that me and Tegan's room was like right next to their room, so they probably could hear us. Whereas like you guys were like down the hall. But
Rosarin
No.
screams
that's
over
true.
long.
Zarn did scream a lot. When we shared a room, Tegan, our room was like sandwiched between the two rooms.
No, when we first shared a room, we were in the room Soljan's in right now. And then we asked to split rooms, remember? And we were in our own separate rooms. And then we wanted a bunk bed and we moved to that middle room. Do you not remember this?
No, I just thought that split room was always like the nursery. And kind of like in Encanto when Mirabelle like never grew out of the nursery because she didn't get her gifts. That's what happened with Riz and Sully. It's not actually that funny.
I was gonna say.
I take that as
What are
an
we
insult.
laughing at?
Like,
I was like, she finds it real funny though.
I do. Because how long was it until the walls were repainted?
Oh yeah. What was in that room before? Butterflies?
It was all the animals.
Oh, the animals. Oh yeah. True. Yeah, wait, how long was it? I actually just realized that the walls are
clearly
repainted
not
right now.
that long because I don't remember the time before these walls were
Wait, what?
color.
You don't remember the
How
animals?
long Mom spent on that? She like did like the
Yeah.
giraffe and the elephant and like the rhino and whatever and the tiger. It was this whole thing. Wow. We'll have to ask them for a picture if they took a picture of it.
Yeah.
It was very.
Wait.
Do you remember when they asked us to paint our room, Tegan? And they're like, you each get like one wall. And was it me who chose squiggly lines?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because then the butterflies were on the other one.
Yes.
Yeah.
There was butterflies on one wall, and then just a bunch of random squiggly lines on
Yeah.
another.
Yep. That was it. And then Mom painted the bubbles in that bathroom up there. Yeah.
Yep.
The bubbles are still in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Wow, you really don't remember the animals? That's crazy.
That is crazy. It was all for you, Soli. Well, or Riz. I don't remember which one. But it was one of you.
It was like when you were baby.
So then you
But I didn't know when they got painted again. So
They
I
didn't
thought
get
maybe you were old
painted
enough to
over
remember
until
them.
it's like that magenta purple color.
Yeah, but when? Because I thought maybe Sully would remember the animals, but I guess not.
That would have been around the time that I painted over everything orange, so
I don't know when that was.
like high school, I think. Because that's
Because
like
Sully should remember that.
that's when you moved down to the guest room and painted it blue.
I moved down before high school.
Okay, then it was around that time. Anyway, we are like veering way off.
Yeah, we are.
And we are already at over an hour now, so sorry for all the distractions down
Yes.
memory lane. I know you all enjoyed it.
Yes,
but yeah, in short, don't put the gifts under until Christmas Eve. Make sure you're trying to find a way to donate to families who you're less fortunate. You know, Toys for Tot, they're always doing Christmas drives and whatever and whatnot.
What's the other one? It's like the boxes, like the shoe boxes.
I don't remember what it's called. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah,
do that one too.
Yeah. But before we go, I also wanted to mention that we have been on Spotify and YouTube, and now we are also on Apple Podcasts. So
woot woot.
pick
There's the roof.
from your favorite, I guess.
Listen anywhere you go.
Yeah. Or listen on all the platforms if you desire.
Stream everywhere.
You love
Multiple
us that
times.
much.
Yes.
3 times. You
All
can
the
watch it 3
devices.
times.
Yes.
And then focus on each one of us on a
Yes.
different
Yes.
time.
On each, yeah.
Give me my time in
There you
the
go.
sun. I don't know. I don't know how to Vogue. Ignore me.
We know judgment. It's
I'm so sorry that was recorded.
Yay!
all right.
And with that,
Stop earlier. We're embarrassing myself. Au revoir, c'est la vie.
Thank you for joining us.
catch
Oh,
you
you didn't
next
want to ask
time.
me what language that was.
Thanks for tuning in. See you all next week.
Peace out.